Hello. If you clicked on this, you probably know who I am by now. I am Toaster Trash. I have not made a video on this channel in about half a year, and I need to get back into doing serious, work. So, talk to you a little bit about who that little guy is in my profile picture. Have the blue rabbit of sorts. Who he is? What's his name? What's his whole ordeal? So, start off, his full name is Hank M. Porridge. He is a rabbit, but on his version of Earth, they are called Lepenta or Lepentis. That's what their species is. Basically, they all live in harmony with humans and such, but they are from a different region. Now, I'm currently drawing just a bunch of little doodles of Hank at the minute, just so I can get used to, and maybe I could teach some of you how I draw Hank. So, Hank is a Lepenta from New Zealand, and he, and that's where his parents came from, but he was actually born in Chicago, Illinois. He doesn't have much friends at first. He's but when he does, he is a fun to be around. He is a chatterbox of sorts. But before he beats his friends, he can be a hothead. He does lose his temper sometimes. He eventually settles down and becomes more grounded. And at the time when we meet him, he has a girlfriend, Rachel. And eventually they do find peace and just go and live together. But you know, in the current scheme of things, they're just working it out. Now, Hank, I haven't colored him in yet, but he is not your everyday average bunny now, is he? He's blue. He's this pigmented blue type shade. Now, Lepenta can be many different colors. We have his girlfriend Rachel, which is a pink. We have they could be brown, red. They could be many different colors. Hank, almost anything really. Hank, so isn't necessarily special by what color he is. He's just special because where he grew up in Chicago, there weren't many Lepenta around. So there was none for him to really collaborate or talk to, since they all live in their own little village. A lot of them still lived back in New Zealand. But yeah, the Chicago place isn't really their ideal home, since they prefer forests, since they're more open. But Hank he lived here and he had to adapt. So he had to learn how to survive in Chicago in his own right. So he grew up differently from the other Lepentis that might have known him as a child, or might, others Lepenta that might have grown up in New Zealand. So when Hank meets the other main four, we don't know exactly how he met Coolman, but we do know that when Hank first moved in, it was an act of that Hank didn't really know at this point. When Hank moved in, he was a lot more reserved and quiet. And when Toast moved in, he started being more open, started expressing himself more, because they were bonding. And now they formed a more brotherly relationship and are able to relate on stuff and talk about things. And I'm just drawing some expressions, doodling right now, just to spice things up a little bit. So while Hank is really tall, Hank's decently tall in human height. He's actually on the shorter side in terms of Lepenta, as Hank is 6'3", and his girlfriend Rachel is actually like 6'7". So since he spends time in the city, he's not as strong as the other Lapenta that grew up in more places for them to adapt to that sort of nature. But in human terms, he is still very strong. Like if a human punches him, he's gonna be knocked to the ground. Like it's not really a strong competition. Yes, if a human punches him, the human, not Hank, if the human punches him, the human is going to be falling to the ground. um, and his species of Lapenta, they're basically rabbits, right? So they can still jump insanely high, like rabbits can. He's got those hops. He can hop. And Hank has, as you can see, one key design element that you might see in the actual profile picture that Hank is wearing are his headphones. He sports these H-like headphones with the arrow on them. They're actually more for decoration because they aren't on his ears, but because he doesn't actually use them to listen to anything. They just are sort of it. They aren't really headphones made for Lapenta. They're human, They're made for humans. They're kind of like the Amish, really. Yeah. So where the H comes from, so the H stands for Heats by Hank. It's very funny because we have our beats in the real world and they have their heats in their world, and they originated because I think what I remember, unless it has changed and we've gone more to directorial writing, is that Coolman bought a headphone brand for Hank because he as like a birthday gift because he wanted to do something nice, and because Coolman is so rich that he can just do that. So the headphones have nothing really special about them. They're just the H is fine. So he but he still wears them, since in the pilot he was actually wearing non-branded headphones that he gives to Toast later on in the pilot. I guess I should say, I can't say too much, but yeah. Oh wait, have I even said this? So at first, Hank has these non-branded headphones, but he doesn't use them anymore. So when he receives these H1s as a gift from Coolman, he decides to just wear those instead. And the non-branded ones, we don't really see them anymore. They kind of just disappear with the existence of these new H headphones. But he doesn't wear them all the time, as you can see in some of these drawings. But yeah. Hank has the aspiration to be a writer. He actually likes to write. He loves English. He's loved English since he was a kid, because of his father. He actually got an influence from that. Yeah, Hank has a great musical influence and loves to play the guitar from time to time. He's developed a love for the guitar, and he's pretty good at it. He thinks he's better than he is, but to the average person, he's you're a good guitarist. Hank is the mascot for this entire thing. He's my profile picture. He's the most recognizable. You see the blue body, and you're like, oh, that's the thing. So even though it's called Danzplanet, the main mascot isn't Dan, and I think that is humorous. But it is very fun to see. It is very fun to see where Hank goes and how he just develops as a character. I think I'm about done with just this video in general, and you can see I've made a few doodles here that I Okay. As you can see, this is the finished little sketch sheet of him. Um, I will make a fully fledged tutorial on how to draw him eventually, because I want to be able to people to know how I draw him. He's a funny little guy. That's about it. I just wanted to talk about my character for a little bit. Hope you guys enjoyed my little ramble session, and hope it made an enjoyable video. Thank you. There'll probably be 2 videos on the screen about now. Uh, if I do that. Thank you for watching. Toodles.